You are going through one of the most painful periods of your life. Losing your spouse leaves a great void in your heart. Feeling that loss is like living a life with a part of you missing. Waking up every morning, going to bed every evening, living every moment, taking every step with him. Now, you walk alone in the dark. And this loneliness sometimes feels like a dead end. Pain leaves a heavy burden on the mind and soul. However, hasty decisions made after a loss can lead you to deeper loneliness and greater regret. Because pain prevents you from thinking rationally. At this turning point in your life, most people take the wrong steps. Some immediately make big changes, some fall into the wrong path out of fear of loneliness, and some hesitate to seek help. But all these mistakes will make your grieving process even more difficult. Some steps, even if taken quickly, can be irreversible decisions. In this video, you will learn how to avoid 5 critical mistakes that can be made during this challenging period. Quick decisions, emotional turmoil, feelings of loneliness, and seeking help. These can be the biggest mistakes made after a loss. However, with proper guidance and awareness, you can avoid these mistakes. Do you not know what to do after losing your spouse? Do you feel stuck? Here, this video offers you not only a way to cope emotionally, but also a practical guide to making healthy decisions after your loss. Because during the grieving process, it is necessary to overcome not only the losses, but also the wrong decisions. Give yourself this chance and start taking the right steps. If you're ready, let's get started. 1. Mistake: making big decisions immediately. After losing your spouse, the world you find yourself in may no longer feel familiar. Your home, the streets, the belongings, every corner where you laughed and cried together, they all seem like memories. And sometimes those memories become unbearable. People want to escape these feelings. That's why some people make big decisions like moving immediately, selling their house, or going to another city. The main reason for this is that they think they will leave the pain behind and be able to start anew in a new place. But the truth is, you carry your heart with you, and wherever you go, those feelings will come with you. Such major changes should not be made, especially during the most intense period of mourning. Because your mind is clouded, your heart is broken, and your decision-making mechanism may not function properly. Selling the house is not just giving up a property. It means parting with a home built together, a life, a past. Moving does not mean escaping from memories. On the contrary, one should not be afraid of being alone with those memories. Many people feel regret months after making such decisions. "I wish I had waited a bit longer," they say. That's why experts recommend waiting at least 6 months, or even a year if possible. This time is necessary not for healing, but for being able to think clearly. Accept every emotion you experience during the grieving process. Longing, anger, fear, feeling of emptiness. These are normal. But don't let these guide you. The healthiest thing you can do during this period is to move forward with small decisions. You can take small steps, such as removing or changing some items at home. However, don't rush into making irreversible decisions. This does not mean you are weak. This means you are giving yourself time. Think of Albert. Albert lost his wife, Sophia, with whom he had lived for 35 years. He looked at the house they had bought together after years of working side by side. The memories they had shared were in front of her eyes in every corner. For a moment, the idea of selling the house and moving somewhere else crossed his mind. He thought about it for a week. During this time, he decided that this thought was not reasonable. And she decided not to sell the house, choosing to live in her memory-filled home, reconciling with her emotions. Don't forget, the loss you are experiencing is very great. You should treat yourself well amidst such great pain. Instead of running away from everything, sometimes staying and reclaiming the place you live in can be the strongest step. 2. Mistake: starting wrong relationships, out of fear of being alone. Loneliness. After losing your spouse, perhaps the feeling you experience the most is this: a quiet house, a solitary breakfast, an empty chair. The first mornings, the first evenings without his voice, as if something has been missing from life. A person wants to fill this void, because being alone is frightening. Your heart feels like it's swinging in the void. And this is exactly where one of the biggest mistakes is made: rushing into a relationship to escape the feeling of loneliness. These kinds of relationships usually start like a refuge. Someone calls you, asks how you are, says they are by your side. It feels good for the moment. But over time, you realize that this new relationship is based not on love, but on fear. The fear of being alone. However, love does not arise from fear. A healthy relationship grows over time with respect and mutual understanding. Before you have experienced your pain, surrendering yourself to someone else will not only harm you emotionally, but also the other person. Additionally, such relationships often keep you from facing yourself. However, true healing begins not by suppressing your pain, but by accepting it. Do you really want a new relationship, or do you just want to silence the quiet? Ask yourself this question honestly. So, what is your answer? Share your thoughts in the comments as you arrive at the answer. Maybe your input will help someone else and raise awareness. In society, there may be a perception that being in a relationship to avoid being alone is normal, but this is not a measure of your worth. You are not just a partner. You are a complete and valuable person on your own. There is still love within you, and you should direct this love towards yourself first. There can be a second relationship, yes, but this should start from a healthy place after healing. After your heart has healed, when you meet someone you can truly love, that's when that relationship could be your second spring. But steps taken out of fear of loneliness often lead to greater loneliness. Remember, being alone does not mean you are unloved. The love you give yourself is the strongest foundation. First, establish peace in your own heart. Then look for someone to share that peace with. Thus, you will have a healthier psychology and relationship. 2. I also mentioned the mistake. If you have found the information I have shared so far useful, you can support us by subscribing to the channel. Let's continue. 3. Mistake: making financial decisions without consulting. When your spouse passes away, it's not just a heart that breaks. The balance of your life is also shaken. Habits, roles, decision-making processes, especially if your spouse handles financial matters at home, their departure can place a significant responsibility on you. Bank accounts, insurances, investments, debts, everything suddenly becomes complicated. One of the most common and dangerous mistakes made during this period is making financial decisions alone and in haste. Because during the mourning period, your mind doesn't function clearly. Emotions overshadow your decisions. The fear of loss is so great that you want to take quick steps to avoid losing what you already have. But this speed can lead you to financial losses. Unfortunately, during this period, malicious individuals who want to take advantage of people's vulnerable state also emerge. There are many examples of people who approach you by saying, "I can help you," gain your trust, but actually deceive you. You may have heard similar incidents around you. Therefore, do not blindly trust anyone in financial matters. Don't sign anything for someone you don't know, don't change your investments, and don't make sudden sales. Remember, financial decisions are made with knowledge, not emotions. And the best way to gain knowledge is to consult. Talk to a trusted family member, a financial advisor, or a lawyer. If you don't have such a network, you can benefit from the free advisory services offered by municipalities, associations, or pension institutions in your city. Also, do not underestimate the power of time. Delaying most of your financial decisions for a few months can protect you from great regret. During this time, give yourself and your emotions some space. First, pause for a moment. Take a cup of tea and sit down. Take a deep breath. Because sometimes not taking a step is the right step. The absence of your spouse does not mean you should stop taking care of your life. On the contrary, one way to honor their memory is to take care of yourself and your life. Your money is not just savings, it is also the fruit of your past labor and the security of your future. Taking care of it means taking care of yourself. 4. Mistake: isolating yourself from life. After losing your spouse, the world becomes silent. It's as if everyone continues with their own lives while you hang suspended in a void. Crowds become alien, conversations lose their meaning. When your loved ones talk to you, you feel like you're stuck in another time, another place, because they are no longer there. And in his absence, life seems to have lost its color as well. These feelings are completely normal. The most natural state of grief is withdrawal. But be careful. While turning inward for a short period is part of the healing process, prolonged isolation can lead you into deep loneliness, even depression. And this is the fourth major mistake made unnoticed: completely isolating oneself from life. Nobody understands me. Laughing feels like a shame. I don't want to do anything. These thoughts gradually envelop your mind. You start to decline invitations. You don't answer the phone. Days blend into each other. Over time, loneliness becomes not a choice but a habit. But don't forget, your spouse would want you to live. The reason he loved you was your light in life, your smile, your compassion. He left these beauties with you when he left, and you can continue to experience these for yourself. You don't have to immediately add joy to your life. Small steps are enough. Opening the window every morning and getting fresh air, taking a short walk in the neighborhood, having coffee with a trusted friend. Just playing and listening to a song you love is a start. Over time, you will notice your heart starting to beat again. You will see that there is still hope within you. This does not mean you have forgotten your loss. This means you are starting to learn to live with your loss. Isolation does not protect you from pain. It only weakens your ability to cope with it. So crack open your door. Give life another chance, because life is as full of hope as it is of pain. And sometimes, in the scent of a flower, in the smile of a child, in the silent presence of a friend, you find a branch to hold on to again. You are still here. And if you are here, it means there is still much to experience. 4. We've reached the end of our session. If you have found the information I have shared so far useful, you can support us by subscribing to the channel. Let's continue. 5. Mistake: hesitating to ask for help. When you lose your spouse, many of you want to appear strong. I will get through this, you think, believing you can show everyone that you are coping. When you are in a painful, sorrowful period, you refuse your loved one's offers of help. That's why, most of the time, you end up alone. Because no one knows what to say or how to help. And this leads to a greater loneliness. However, asking for help is not a weakness. On the contrary, it is a great strength. Asking for help, allowing others to extend their hand, is one of the most critical steps in the emotional healing process. Even though a person may be strong enough to bear their pain alone, healing alone can be very difficult. To truly heal, one must share this pain and open up to others. You can receive this help from both family members and professionals, therapists, psychologists, grief groups. These people not only understand your pain, but also guide you on how to cope with it. Especially specialized support like grief therapy can help accelerate your emotional healing. Many people fear that asking for help will make them appear even more vulnerable. But the truth is, Seeking help not only accelerates your healing process, but is also a natural part of being human, forming emotional connections, and being loved. Feeling good, being able to trust others, allowing them to understand you. These are important parts of living. Additionally, seeking help is not limited to receiving professional support. Sometimes crying with a friend or sharing old memories with a family member can greatly contribute to your healing process. Being with your loved ones, sometimes just their silent presence, can speed up your healing. The grieving process is not just about suffering, but also about reconnecting with your loved ones. Remember, asking for help is a courageous step to hold on to life again. The love and understanding you show yourself, combined with the support you receive from others, will make your healing process faster and healthier. Because life is not simple enough for a person to handle alone. Together, we are stronger. In the end, you should not forget this. The loss of your spouse is not the end of your life. This loss will certainly leave a deep pain, but over time, as you take the right steps, this pain becomes more manageable. The grieving process is a journey that encompasses not only pain, but also rebirth. There will be moments when you feel lost. But remember, the person you lost would always want you to be by their side. He was your source of strength. Now is the time to find that power within yourself. You can see the void left by your spouse's departure as an opportunity to find new meanings in your life. Every time you notice a mistake, every time you avoid a wrong step, you are taking another step towards a healthier life. Pain, loss, loneliness. These are not the things that define you. You are becoming a stronger, wiser person through the lessons you learn in this process. Remember, the grieving process progresses not only with time, but also with the right decisions. Allow yourself, accept your pain, but don't be afraid to take a step forward. Seek help, connect with your loved ones, and bring meaning back to your life. The best way to honor your spouse's memory is to hold on to life. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. You can share your thoughts and questions with us in the comments. See you in the next video.